started Burnt Out Perfectionist because we were tired of pretending we had everything figured out. Life is messy, burnout is messy, and honestly, we think more people should talk about it. Welcome to Burnt Out Perfectionist.
What is freaking out? My name is Eve.
My name is Sarah.
And we are Burnt Out Perfectionist.
Tis we are.
I really enunciated perfectionist today.
Yeah.
Perfectionist.
You always get worried that you're like stuttering.
No, because one time I listened back and I literally sounded like a burnt out perfectionist.
That's because your nose was stuffy. That's okay.
That makes sense. And on this episode of Burnt Out Perfectionist, we're going to talk about the things we refuse to feel guilty about anymore.
Oh, that's okay.
To think of things.
You know what? I had a ponder last night of many things that bother me that we just accept in society. This is beside from like the subject that we have.
I was like, wow, starting out with a bang.
I was just like, why is rent the same amount every month when the days of the month always change?
I think because it evens out.
That's what they always say. But I think it's a scam. Same with subscriptions. Like, if I have a subscription per month.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, it's $8.99 per month. But if February only has 28 days.
I think a lot of the time, for me, it's like the annual versus the monthly. But that stuff doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, it'll be like, oh, annually. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Then you fall into this trap of like in January where you have 14 subscriptions that are yearly. So you're dropping $1,000
Right.
in January. And you're like, oh, I'll switch to monthly. And then it's always like, because you switched to monthly,
There's now this
you
extra
now have to pay
fee.
this double fee. And I'm like, excuse me. What?
Oh, I know.
What has been your survive and thrive for the past couple weeks?
I got to go to Alberta.
Woohoo!
First off, I got to visit the beautiful town of Olds. Took about 5 minutes. It's full of canola fields, which are very bright. And I literally went to when my friend said we were going to her sister's wedding and it was in the middle of nowhere, I thought she was being sarcastic. And then even Eve can attest to the fact that she looked at my location. It was about 10 minutes outside of Olds. It was a hall in the middle of canola fields.
Like, there was nothing. You had to, like, shrink down the screen, like, 3 or 4 times just to see another building.
Oh, yeah. And then after that, we went to Calgary and we hung out with family. And that was fun. I went to the zoo again. And yet again, there was no fucking polar bear.
It's summer, honey.
No, so the polar bear, they used to have 2. And the last time I went to the zoo, literally 24 hours before I went to the zoo, the other polar bear killed the other polar bear.
Oh.
Yeah. Snap. Then they were like, oh, everything's fine, blah, 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 blah. We're still keeping the other polar bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, no polar bear. But I did see the adorable river otters, and they just made my fucking day. Because their enclosure, like, it goes from, like, a riverbed type area, and then they can go under a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And they literally, like, as we were walking, followed us all the way along, and they just looked like they were smiling at us through the plexiglass. And my daughter laughed because I called them the dash hounds of the sea. Or
They're
the
so
dash hounds of
cute.
the lake. And they were so cute, and they were just, like, dancing away. And my daughter goes, I think one just waved at me, and I look over, and legit, it looks like it's just, like, standing there waving, and I was like, oh my God, I want to take it home. Which I know, you don't take home wild animals. I'm not, like, dumb, but it was just so cute, and I sat there. Also, I got to see the snow leopard. It's a baby, and it's just the baby, and it was, like, just having nothing to do with the hot weather. But yeah. That was super fun. I went to go to, like, the discount mall, which is Cross Iron Mills Mall. Someone chose violence. There was thousands of people there. Nobody knew what direction to walk in.
Oh.
Nobody had any social awareness. And to make it even worse, we're 100% sure nobody turned the air conditioning on that day.
Oh, my God.
So it was humid.
Ew.
There was too many people. And people were dumb.
My survive and thrive.
Yeah, I was like, fun, Eve.
Well, my survive and thrive. My thrive is... Actually, I'm going to do 2 thrives. Because, you know what? I went to Costco on Tuesday at 8 a.m. Felt like a frickin' baller. Went in and out within 30 minutes. Walked into the checkout line. It was the most magical experience. I messaged my friend. I was like, this is adulting. I've never been so excited that I went to Costco at this time. It was just overall lovely. Got a new fan. Great time. And my other one is, I don't know. I've just been vibing.
You
Oh,
said a double
actually,
thrive.
I double thrive. I got a train book nook.
Oh, it is so cute. You did such a good job.
Thank you. It has instructions. The pieces are pre-cut. But I built it and I was like so hyped about it. And I was like, this is the best thing ever. I just love me a book nook. I need to reorganize my bookcase. See, that's why I was like, I need to make like an inventory and stuff. Part of me's like, do I need to buy that library scanner? I think that'd be so much fun.
God, that would be so much fun.
A little scan, have a whole system locked up. And on this episode of Burnt Out Perfectionist, we're going to talk about the things we refuse to feel guilty about anymore.
Yeah, because there's so many things that you get shit on in society, or they're like, "Ah, you can't do this." So the number one things that they usually chop up to, it's not environmentally friendly. Plastics. It's not healthy enough. Basically, any of like the fear mongering things that they put out there all the time. And sometimes you just need to do the things that work best for you as a person.
Or like it's not trendy now, or like all those. It's like the one person that picks something out and you're like, I actually just like vibe with it. Like I don't need that.
Yeah.
For example, there's ones like shortcuts. You can be people call you lazy because you don't want to do certain things.
Yeah.
My personal one is in the summer, I am a paper plate household.
Eve is a paper plate household. Sometimes I am. I rock more often than not the plastic like diner baskets with a piece of parchment paper in it. Whether it is the checkered one, where I get the set off of Amazon and it lasts almost the whole year.
Mhm.
Or sometimes just regular parchment paper, or even, I know I'm gonna say a godforsaken word, paper towel.
Which I don't get why. This is my thing is I sit there and I go, probably the amount of water and soap that I waste trying to get the grime off of. I don't know what happens in the summer here, but I will wash my dishes right afterwards.
Yeah.
And it's like, does not matter. I've used the same soap January, February, March, all the way through.
Yeah.
Hits the summer, residue.
Oh, always. And the worst part is like, and then it tastes like the soap.
And it's not even oh, I accidentally left a little bit of soap in there or anything like that. It's genuinely like the worst, and you don't see it, and then you're like, ugh. Next one is, I've never experienced it, but a dishwasher.
Oh, yes. Dishwashers are fun, but they're also like, if you haven't grown up with a dishwasher. So I didn't start having them until I was like older, because we had one in one house and then we didn't use it because we were about to move.
Yeah.
And then we had them in other houses and they either broke, or we were like, oh, we don't have enough dishes to like justify using the dishwasher. Now I just use the dishwasher. Like, I have a portable dishwasher. I paid for it. Do I still get behind on my dishes? I sure do. Is it a
Yeah.
perfect system? No, it's not. But it's really nice when I start feeling like overwhelmed and say there's just a bunch of place I can stick them in there. I can run it. And sometimes they come out with things on them. But you know what? Sometimes I didn't have to touch the icky dish that smelled like ass. And that's okay.
Yeah. I dream of having a dishwasher one day. Next one is frozen vegetables. There used to be this thing a few years ago that was like, frozen vegetables don't have the same amount of nutrients as fresh vegetables.
Oh, yeah.
Just so you're aware, that's not how the real world works.
No.
And maybe I want my carrots to be in cubes.
The other thing is, I love broccoli. It's probably one of my favorite vegetables on the face of the planet. And I could buy that big bag of broccoli, the fresh one from Costco, if I wanted to. But if I go to buy it, I'll eat some of it. Some other people will eat it in my family. And then might get shoved to the back of the fridge and then go bad. But if I buy frozen broccoli, all I have to do is defrost it and it is literally already cooked. And it tastes just as good.
My biggest lazy hack with vegetables in general is, so we'll have them raw, we'll have them like cooked and stuff, is I always find that, like, I don't want 50 pounds of broccoli and I don't want 50 pounds of this. So what we've been doing is we just buy the veggie tray.
Yeah.
And then, yes, like, the dip might not be used fully, but it comes with, like, cherry tomatoes, which we just freeze for pasta sauce, peppers, peas, carrots, sometimes cauliflower and broccoli. And it's enough that, like, you can buy it, and I think it's, like, $15.
Yeah, the ones at Costco are $15, but they're also like 2 to 3 times the size of the ones that you get at any other store.
Totally. So then you get that, and it's like, oh, okay, that's, like, a week's.
I see that as meal prep. Like because I've done that several times because it's already done. Like it's proven whether you're neurospicy or not that if vegetables are prepared, you have a higher chance of using them.
But it's also, like, I think about, it, like, it comes in a big plastic container. But the amount of plastic that comes with, like, buying vegetables, unless you get them, like,
Like
I almost
just
said
like
unhoused.
I was just like roaming free in the bulk area.
Yeah, like, if you get them in the bulk area, great. But sometimes it's like, oh, I just, like, it's easier or it's cheaper. Like, I priced it out. It's cheaper.
Oh, it is. That's like one of the ones that I have on here is jarred garlic or jarlic as some people call it.
Why do people have such an issue with the jarred garlic?
Because it's like it depends if it's fresh or not. So I personally don't get the one that's like in the oil, that's like the diced minced one. I get the like garlic paste and I get the like Mama Jamma. It's like the size of a small mayo container. And I pay $3 for it.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to worry about it being dried. I don't have to peel it. And then I also get either the garlic one that's separate or the garlic and like the garlic and ginger
Mhm.
or just like the ginger that's separate because ginger, I am very clumsy. I actually looked at my hands in the light the other day and saw how many fucking tiny scars I have all over my hands. And I have like a little like mincer grater and stuff like that. And I will use it for like zesting or other things. But like I am a very clumsy person. Also, sometimes I just want to walk in the house, get dinner made like I did yesterday. And then I just want to sit my fucking ass down.
Yeah.
And it tastes just as good. Sometimes it's a little bit more potent. Like I said, I personally do like the paste versus the other ones. And then if it looks like it's starting to go, I have these little, they almost look like thumbprint, like pop out silicone bottom ice cube trays. And I'll just freeze the stuff in there. Like I've done that when I've done like lemons and I have like half a lemon. Like I know that lemon's just going to hang out in my fridge and die. Like just
Yeah.
finding different ways. Like I'm the queen of freezing anything before it goes if I remember. Like I'm not perfect, but if I can remember to do that ahead of time, then of course I'm going to do it.
I also find, like, people be like, oh, you can, like, I've made rotisserie chickens at home.
Yeah.
I have an air fryer that does it. They're great.
Yeah.
But I will also state that sometimes when I've entered a Costco and say it's after work, and I'm like, I'm not there to buy meat. Forgot to take meat out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick up the chicken.
Okay, first off, Costco chickens are my utter kryptonite. My husband will state like sometimes he debates about getting 2 because I've already eaten half the chicken by the time we're in the truck.
Oh,
Like
that and Costco came out with sourdough baguettes. These
Yeah.
baguettes, magical.
and that's the whole thing is like it used to be like a go-to cheap dinner. You could go to Safeway.
Yeah.
You get a rotisserie chicken, 2 salads of your choice, and those salads could either be like a fresh like garden salad mix or they could be macaroni or potato salad or coleslaw.
Mhm.
And then you generally got tray buns.
Yeah.
And that was like a dinner that you could get. So say if it was before like payday, your parents were paying $8 to $10 and you could literally feed a family of 6 and still have leftovers.
And it was so good. I missed that.
And it was so good. And you know what? It's not like, I understand that some people are like, ew, macaroni salad or potato salad and stuff like that. But they're literally, yeah, sure, they have mayo in them. Some of them are like vinegar based, but it's a carb.
As a self-proclaimed hoodie enthusiast, I find it really hard to find sweaters that are comfortable, cute, and not $1,000 each. On that note, we decided to make a business called Overwhelm the Label, It's basically like if you went into your parents' closet in the 90s, yeah, like the cute ones that you still to this day, and you wanted a bit more of a fresh, modern look, come check us out at overwhelmthelabel.ca or on any social media platforms.
And a majority of them just have more vegetables in them that have been like grated, processed, or whatever. And then there's seasoning on it. And it's just easy. Like it's easy
Oh,
and
yeah.
you've got all those things. Like it's like a meal in one.
Or sometimes I want like a cheap cookie.
Yeah, even buying those like pre-done meals where they're like processing the like at Costco, especially like at ours, if they have leftover rotisserie chicken, they like toss it in taco mix and make the taco kits.
Yeah.
And it's already like pre-done. There's even ones at like Superstore that are like $10. And to me, paying $10 and everybody being able to have something to eat instead of just having like fast food or
Well,
something like,
fast food is like redonkulous now.
oh, it's so expensive. Like fast food, if it wasn't before considered a luxury, it 100% is now. Like the funny thing is I figured out that it's actually cheaper if my family gets breakfast fast food wise at McDonald's than it is at Tim Hortons. Tim
Yeah.
Hortons is $30. And that's $10 a person. And that's even with coupons and I play their fucking word app like to
Yeah.
get discounts. And like you can't even think of any other place that has like breakfast to go. It's obscene.
There's like I have talked highly about my espresso machine, and sometimes I just really don't want to make coffee.
Yeah.
And like it's not perfect, but like, it's a better option than like we went I think it was like last Saturday we went to Starbucks because I was like we hadn't gone in months.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I could really go for a refresher. And I sat there and we ordered the refresher, and I think I got like mini pancakes because I was going to work. And for the 2 drinks and the mini pancakes, it was $20. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, but like if we go to McDonald's, we could get 2 coffees, a muffin, a sandwich, and 2 strawberry pies for like $10. And I'm like, well, I don't really like. Not that anything's a need, but it's like, oh,
It's something
I'll just go
though.
there.
It's better to have something than have nothing. Another thing I find people shit on all the time, like I do love a homemade dessert, but store-bought desserts, there are these $6 cakes that are at Freshco.
Yeah.
I will bring them to family events or sometimes send them to people like via Uber
Mm-hmm.
for birthdays, and they're a huge hit. They're actually fucking delicious. They're $6.
And like, there's definitely like a time and place for like certain things, but sometimes it's just easier.
Yeah.
There is also a large, so I can't speak to being a parent, but I will speak to the anti side of things. About like there's this whole side of like moms. I say moms because I don't see a lot of dads
No,
doing it.
there's no guilt. Like people always say parents having parent guilt. And most of the time it's like if the dad goes out of town and stuff like that is what you're generally seeing on like social media and everything. Like that's like the form of like dad guilt or I don't get to be the coach on my kid's team or something.
Yeah.
But like a majority of society as we know as women just shit on women for everything. So it's like your kid has an iPad, you're a terrible mom.
I would say that with screen time, it's kind of like a balancing act.
Yeah.
Like, I said it to Sarah not that long ago. I was like, kids will refer back to what they see you do the most.
Yeah.
That's why they want your keys because they see you leave with the keys. Where's my keys? I need my keys. They're like, well, these keys must have value.
There's something magical about these keys. I shall
Exactly.
play with them and put
And
them in my
then
mouth.
it's the same thing with phones. It's like, no, honey, go color. I'm gonna go sit there and scroll on my like. I think it came up with the topic of reading of like, oh, like some kids just don't want to read anymore.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, because you're carrying around a screen and
But
a little blocks, and it's like, well, I'm still reading on it, and I'm like, but your kids don't understand that. They associate
100%.
it with that tiny glowing box makes music, but it also does all of these things. My mom doesn't read. My mom sits on her phone. So it's like that switch up of like if you hold a book, your kid's gonna read more.
If you hold a book or if you have like even just like a separate like Kindle, or like people have those like mini MP3 players that you can read stuff on.
Yeah.
Or like sometimes I'll be sitting there and my daughter will be like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm actually just reading a book on my phone through the Kindle app." She'll be like, "Oh."
But if they're younger and they don't like ask
Exactly.
questions,
Like
they
my
just
kid
kind of
is
see it.
older. My kid's almost 10 years old. So there's like that understanding. The parenting guilt when you just don't want to make dinner and you order pizza. Remember how
Yeah.
like it was like back in the day, it was Friday. We're gonna have pizza. I'm so excited. And like your parents were just as excited and look relieved, and you realize that like it wasn't even just the fun aspect of getting pizza. It was because they were so fucking tired. And there was a pizza deal and a coupon and it just worked.
Also, like our parents were also really honest. Like it was never like oh, we're having pizza because like it's for like sometimes it'll be like, oh, I just want to cook dinner. It's too hot.
Yeah.
Another one is like you mentioned store bought birthday cakes. I find that a lot of parents now need to learn the word no
Yeah.
and have the understanding that like no isn't gonna murder your child's soul.
It's not gonna you can say no, and giving no with an explanation, so you're just not saying no. But I'll even like joke around with my kid and I'll be like, no. And she'll be like, why? And I'm like, just cuz. And she's like, well, what's just cuz? And she'll keep going. And sometimes I have an explanation. Other times I'm like, because I said no. And I know that's annoying to you and you don't understand why. I'm like, maybe you'll understand in the future, but I don't need to give a full definition right now. Every single time I talk, I don't have to define every single thing.
Also, I feel like a strong one is like just because you've chosen to do certain things with your parenting doesn't mean that everybody else is wrong.
100%.
Like what I will say to your kid, granted, I'm an aunt. I will say, hey, that's not really the smartest decision right now.
That's a line that we use a lot.
And I was like, maybe let's. And she'll turn around and be like, why? And I was like, well, if you look, you're going to fall over in about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's like you giving reasoning without like something wrong.
Yeah.
Like people need to learn consequences. People need to learn like affirmations, all of those hoo-haws and stuff like that. But it's not like I find that some people now it's like, oh, they said they don't like my braids. Okay, cool. What do you respond to them? Oh, okay. Well,
I love them.
it's lucky for me it's my hair, not yours.
Yeah, exactly.
Like learning that versus like, oh, well, we don't say no to Micah because Micah needs to understand his feelings. No, no. Micah just bitch slapped a child. Micah's going to learn that you are not supposed to hit another child.
Yeah.
And that is not okay. I'm not saying walk up and slap Micah.
No.
I'm saying that he needs to understand what's right and wrong and not, and then he's going to cry because he's like, oh no, I'm in trouble. Like, I don't know where this like line has gone away with like gentle parenting of like, oh, well, like my kid doesn't respond well to negative energy. I don't respond well to waking up, but I still do.
I was like, but who responds well to negative energy? Nobody. And you have to, you don't know who's going to come in your area, who's going to approach you at any point in time, who you're going to have to talk to and converse with, whether it's like a job or any sort of social situation. Like, you need to teach your kids to adapt and that the world is not here for them, that we are all living together and that everybody is a person and everybody has rights to do what they want within reason of hurting other people.
And like, there's one that's listed as like not making Pinterest lunches, but I remember distinctly there was a time period where Sarah was trying to get your kid to like eat something new.
Yes.
And you were, because she had tried many different ways of doing other things, and your kid only wanted to eat certain things.
Yeah.
And you were like, well, why doesn't she want to eat this? Like, she's not going to get enough protein. And this is this. And I was like, but is she eating? Yeah, okay. I was like, it'll come and go.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of parents too, because being like an aunt or an uncle and stuff like that, we can get your kids to do a lot more than you can because we're not their parent.
Yes.
So like I have gotten your child to eat many of foods that she would spit at her mother when she was a baby.
Yeah, when she was a baby. And then it's just like my niece, she was always very particular with stuff that she liked.
Yeah.
But magically, when she sat on Auntie Sarah's lap, if Auntie Sarah was eating something random, she'd be like, oh, can I eat it? And then she'd eat it. But then it would do the magical thing where she would only eat it with me, or she would never want to touch it again after that day where she ate half my stir fry.
Exactly. And I think I don't even remember if it was a birthday party or something. I was there for someone's and she did that to me.
Yeah.
And her dad was sitting beside and he was like, I
What
was
the
like,
hell?
don't make a noise.
Yeah.
Don't look. Keep your face forward. And it's like, it's not you failing as a parent.
Yeah.
It's just like, kids are weird. Kids are not going to or be like, you give me rules, like any rule.
Yeah.
I'm not going to follow it. But like, anytime, like, I've said to your kid, I've been making coffee and she'll be like looking at me. Or even yesterday, I was going over to watch the dogs. And I don't know if you noticed this. She was following me around the house as I was like getting ready. And I knew that she wanted to go.
Yes.
But I'm not going to say, do you want to go? Because she needs to ask me and not be afraid of asking questions.
Exactly.
And so she's following me around and I was like, oh, well, I'm about to go. I just have to grab my key. And she's like, well, can I come with you? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I know that you wanted to, but you need to like tell me
Yeah.
and not
Say it with words, not with just like your actions.
because I'm like, is there something like on me? Like, are you trying to like find like, is there a hair? Is there a bug on me? Are you trying to figure out a way to slap my back
Yeah.
to get it off? But it's like those communication lines. Like people online are like, this is how you communicate with your child. This is how. No, every kid's also different. So like if you have multiple children, if you do something with one kid, that does not mean that the second one is going to be the
Oh,
same or the third one or the
hell
fourth
no.
one. Like you are making 4 different humans out of the same genetic pool, but you're not making clones of the children.
Correct. It's like, yeah, kids are so funny, especially when it comes to food. Like, it's like my daughter only likes cheese when it's hot, like grilled cheese or cooked cheese, stuff like that. And then one of her other friends is the complete opposite. He only likes cheese when it's cold and he doesn't like it when it's cooked. So, like, I always keep that in the back of my mind. I'll get him, like, say if we're having pizza at the birthday party or whatever, I'll get him, like, boneless wings or something. And he's like, oh, you remembered. And I was like, yeah. And there's like a couple kids who were like that. Or we have a kid where, unless it's outside of his house, he only wants chicken strips and french fries, who's been on Charlie's hockey team twice.
And honestly, like I have been bit in the butt so many times going to restaurants and being like, "Oh, I'm going to try something different."
Oh my God, yeah.
And then like I just don't like it and I was like, "You know what? I'm going to have my Clucks and fries and I'm going to be fine."
Well, and that's the whole thing, right? It's like sometimes your kid wants to eat the world and they'll try so many things. And then there's other days where they'll just want cereal for dinner.
Yeah.
And they can't just have cereal for dinner. That one day is not going to kill them. Cereal does have, like, even the shitty sugary cereal that has colorful marshmallows in it still has iron in it.
It's also I always find interesting is that like adults are deemed okay to like make choices of what they like and what they don't like.
Yes.
But then kids, it's like, well, you need to try it.
Oh, I know. That's my favorite thing is it'll be like, someone will be like, oh, you barely ate anything. And it's like, oh, what did you like it? Oh, well, I don't really like turkey or this. So I just had like ham and like a little bit of tossed salad. And it's like, and you're bitching at your kid that they only ate a bun.
See, and for instance, I don't like mushrooms unless it's in cream of mushroom soup. And Sarah doesn't like chicken with bones in it. Does that mean that when we're having chicken with bones, then I'm going to shove it down her throat? No. By chicken with bones, I mean like chicken wings, anything where the bone could like remove itself and lodge it in your throat.
Yeah.
I just don't like mushrooms because I feel like styrofoam on my teeth.
Yeah. Also, like, not passing judgment, as you said, like on other people's kids to a certain extent. So, like, for example, the wedding that I was at on the weekend, my kid didn't really like any of the stuff that was there. But I was like, okay, like, whatever, like, I'll, like, grab stuff. And she, like, grabbed, like, a bun, and there was a couple other things. But I went in and I was like, you know what? I have some Lunchables that I grabbed that were at Walmart. I was like, I'm just going to go like heat it up because there's like the kitchen and stuff. And it was self-catered. It wasn't like a catered, like the mom of the bride made all the stuff. And I was in there and she turns around and she goes, oh, I forgot to make something for Charlie. And I was like, no, that's okay. I'm her parent. That's my job. And she laughed and I was like, I'm just getting this and I brought it over. No judgment, nobody pointing out that my kid was eating something different, nothing else. Like, one of the kids is very specific about what he eats, and he was eating Parmesan and croutons in a roll with some butter.
All right.
But they were eating food. They were having fun.
They weren't having a hissy fit or anything like that.
No, there was no hazy fit. There was no screaming. They were being like silly. I ended up at the full on kids table. My husband and I, all the children came and sat with us. And then the next one is like ADHD and the mental load. So the things that like help, things that you feel like a hindrance but almost help. So for example, buying duplicates.
I once had 6 bottles of ketchup in my pantry.
I recently found out that I had mayo in my cupboard
See?
because I bought it and then I was like I ran out. I was like halfway through making a tuna sandwich and I was like, well, I might have to go knock on my friend's door who lives next door to like go get some. And then I was like, well, let's see if I have anything else that's like mayo based that's in the cupboard. I open up the cupboard and there's one right there. I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot about that.
It is very common for me to buy duplicates, or I'm very well known of putting something down, walking away. My worst one's my cup. I don't know what happens. I put it down, I turn around, I don't find it for hours.
Mine is specifically around the holidays. I always
Tape.
lose the scissors and the tape.
I tie them together.
I either lose them separately or like the gift tags. So, but then
Yeah.
I only buy my gift tag. I buy the gift tag stickers and I buy them in like the 250 pack from like the dollar store. And you know what? If I can't find them when I'm wrapping the presents and I have to go spend another $2 and get another set, like who is that really affecting? When I eventually find all of them, I can just continue to use them. Like it's not the end of the world. I know it feels like a giant frustration. And especially if you like buy something that's like actually expensive, you're like, fuck. But like you can take things back. Fun fact. You can take things back. And if you're going to use it and eventually going to buy it in the future anyways, just like have a giggle at yourself and put it in the cupboard. Like it's not the end of the world. And sometimes I know you'll feel like that. You'll be like, I made a list. I had all the things. Or like your husband's like dead set that you don't have something and you get home and you have two. And you're like,
It's always
fucking
spices
hell.
to me.
It's spices or I can't tell you how many garlic powders I have in my house right now. I actually gave a full container because I told my husband do not buy garlic powder and I'd bought like a big one from Walmart. And then we were at Costco and they had like one that was even 3 times the size of that for like $5. And he's like, I'm going to make this rub for this stuff or whatever for like smoking and barbecue. And I was like, well, how much are you going to use? And he's like, probably a lot. And I was like, oh, okay, then I guess that makes sense. And then he actually didn't use that much of it. So I just literally knocked on the door and handed this $3 container over to my friend and was like, you said you needed garlic powder. Here you go. Like,
Yeah.
you can help other people. You don't just have to like hoard it to yourself.
Well, sometimes it's like, I just give up. It'll be like leaving laundry in the washer, leaving the laundry anywhere.
Oh my God.
I sometimes rewash laundry that's been in a clean basket because I didn't want to smell it.
Also, like if it gets too, my friend's like that. If his clothes get too wrinkly, he'll just rewash them.
Oh no, sometimes I'm like, I just don't want to smell them.
Well, yeah, and I don't know. Sometimes it gets like a musty
Mildewy.
smell. I use, even though I fight with it more often than not, I have Alexas all around my house. And I use it specifically for when I'm like running out of things. Yes, I know I could stop and write it on a list on my fridge.
Yeah.
The amount of times that those fucking magnetic lists have fallen off my fridge or I can't find a pen. And then I'm like, oh, I'll remember. No, I will not. So I will just be like, Alexa, can you please add peanuts to my shopping list? And then I'll even be going through the list and be like, and it tells me who added it, which is sweet because sometimes my husband is like, sometimes it writes the weirdest thing in there too. And I'll be like, what the fuck is queso de pepo? And he's like, oh, I said I wanted nacho queso, but like didn't understand him. And I'm like, okay. And I like correct it. But if my daughter's running out of like toothpick flossers, she'll tell it to put it on the shopping list. And then it's on there. Things that like I might not notice right away. Or another thing I like to do as well, other than having Alexis every room, is I'll have like cleaners in each room. And I only buy like the method cleaner. So it's like $4 a bottle or something, unless it's on sale. And I will have a thing of paper towel and a thing of multi-purpose cleaner. and I don't have it in my kids' room because I have one in my room.
Mhm.
Any extras or dupes are generally in the laundry room. I have a whole caddy in my bathroom. So if I suddenly decide while I'm going to the bathroom and I'm staring at everything that I think it's too dirty and I want to clean, all the stuff is right there.
Mhm.
And I have that upstairs too. That's like, I feel like that's helped me more often than not, where I'm like, oh, or like you look at the mirror and you're like, fucking toothpaste. Why is there always toothpaste on the damn bathroom mirror?
I feel like, and like that's like, I just want it to be there for convenience.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, is the fine line between like how much is your time worth versus like spending the money for it?
I know there's like, I know a couple and they used to always order those like HelloFresh or like the like prepared like
Mm-hmm.
ingredient meals. And that would technically save the money because they would have that. And then they started trying to get the bigger portions so they had lunch the next day and it cost more. So then they took the recipes, which is similar to something that you've done, and they
Mm-hmm.
like broke it down. And they were going to the store and she was like, "Oh my God, I was like so overwhelmed at the store." But I was also super tired because she just like she's a manager at a store, so she'd
Mm-hmm.
been doing a million things at once. And she goes, "I started doing grocery pickup." It started and she was like, it was a gateway. Because then she started getting like the grocery like drop off, which we've had interesting experiences with it. Sometimes that you get totally the wrong things and you get to keep extra groceries. But
Which is a blessing and a curse. Because
I know,
sometimes I'm like, I don't want 14 cans of chickpeas.
right? Like my one neighbor, she doesn't drive and her like husband's out of town a lot. So she signs up for the service and then gets it delivered to her house.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Yeah, I could get on the bus." Because she goes, "I have a bus freaking pass. I could get on the bus, go down there, pick up the stuff, and then wait for the bus to come back." But she goes, "To be totally honest, I would wander around because I would want to try to match up with the bus times." And I probably got more than what I needed. And like, at least you're getting like exactly what you needed. As long as you order it
Yeah.
properly. Our one cousin ordered like 20 pounds of broccoli one time, and that made me laugh so hard.
Or the
But that was
bananas.
like the bananas. That was like the beginning.
And like some people will hire like cleaners, they'll hire like lawn care, they'll hire like, which if that's what you need, then do it. I don't have anything like that. That's not really me. So,
My whole thing is if I hired a cleaner, I would clean before the cleaner came. I don't mind hiring cleaners when I'm moving. I've done that before, especially if you have like a sketch landlord.
yeah.
I've done it where I've cleaned it where I feel it's the best and then had professional cleaners go in, and sometimes they're like, "Why did you get us to come in?" I'm like, "I just don't want the receipt. It says there was professional cleaners in here in case they pull something." Or hiring people to, especially if you get a coupon, like a steam cleaner, versus like renting the machine or buying one of those like big carpet cleaners if you want to. That's always good. Like sometimes paying for convenience is the smart way because you might not actually do the thing unless you have that scheduled appointment to have them do the thing.
Yeah. A lot of the time too, it's like the fine line of like, I find that social media will make it seem like, oh, well, like struggling is okay. Struggling is the purpose of life.
Yeah.
And like you'll have someone who's like, I have 4 kids. This is my activity calendar. These are all the snacks. This is all the things I have. This is just I am the perfect family.
Yeah.
And then you get a documentary about them later. But it's like it's always like, oh, I decided to make everything from scratch. And then you have like the two sides of people. So you'll have like Nara Smith comes out with recipes of like making Oreos from scratch.
Yeah.
And it's like the one side are like, that's so much healthier for you. And then the other side is like, wow, to have the time to do that and waste all of this, and this, and this, like the negative and the positive.
Yes.
And it's like, I've definitely been wanting to be like, you know what, I kind of want to figure out if I can make my own Oreos, or I'll make something and be like, well, this tastes better than I would from the store. And so it's like, oh, I just smacked myself in the face. Hello? It's that fine line of like, oh, well, I did it all myself. Like, I cleaned. We're going to declutter my entire house. And then what you don't see is that someone came in before that, helped them clean, but they won't say that.
Or they like pre-cleaned, like I said before, there's like a cleaner. They pre-clean before, specifically when it comes to social media, before they do the content. Or even like Alicia and Lauren both admitted that they are messy people.
Yeah.
And that, sure, it looked clean as fuck in the background, but really behind it or in the corners that you couldn't see is where they shoved everything.
Or like, I've worked so hard that I haven't had a day off. Or like, I'm so happy that today I actually have a free day. And it's like, okay.
But also, like, should you be bragging at the fact that you haven't had a day off? Like, that's not proving that you're productive.
But also, like, what's your definition of a day off? Because if someone looks at me, for instance, say they work 4 hours a day,
Yeah.
and they're like, well, I haven't had a day off in a week. And I'm like, but for somebody who works 8 to 12 hours a day,
Yeah.
yeah, like 12 hours a day, and your first day off, you're staring at the wall, versus like 4 hours, you still have 20 hours of the day.
You still have 20 hours of the day, like, I mean, minus sleep and whatever. But also, is it like, I used to work a job where I would start at, it was still 8.5 hours, but like from perspective, my job would start at 12
Mhm.
and I would work until 8:30.
Mhm.
So some folks that I worked with would literally get up at 11 or 11:15 and go into work.
Yeah.
Myself, on the other hand, I got up early and I would utilize that time before and then like go to work. So I felt like I had a whole day even before I went into work. And I understand not everybody works that way, but sometimes you have to figure out how to like swap that balance, especially if you have like, say, like a shorter shift. You're working like 4.5 or 6 hours or whatever. And it's like a funny like time in the day or whatever. Try to utilize another part of the day.
But also to claim, like, oh, I haven't had a day off, and then it's like comparing the two. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I have a lot of sympathy for majority of people, but like, when you look at me and say that you work 4 hours and that you go home and just sit on the couch all day versus someone who's 8, 10, 12 hours, and it's like you roll into work and it's dark and you come out and it's dark.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, that's like, oh, well, you can't have it all. And it's like, but there's a fine line of like, oh, I can't have it all. And like, understanding that it's your choice to sleep until 11:15 before going into your 12th shift. But like, the rest of the world usually wakes up at 8. On the flip side, it's like the same thing I always say with the school. Like, it hits June, and I'm always like, guys, the world keeps turning after June.
Oh, yeah. I mean, sadly, we don't all get summer vacation. It's just having that perspective, like, switch when you think you're not, like, justifying time or when you think that you don't have enough. One thing I always think is really funny is a lot of folks will be like, oh, I didn't have time to go to the gym, but I deep cleaned, like, my whole house and did a bunch of stuff. And I'm like, so you did work out? And they're like, what? Well, I didn't go to the gym and I didn't do, like, some workout class or do anything else. And I was like, were you lugging stuff up and down the stairs? They're like, yeah. I'm like, were you like cleaning? They're like, yeah. And I was like, did you get sweaty? They're like, yeah. And I'm like, cleaning can be a workout.
I
It's still a form of exercise. You're still moving your body. You're not like
Yeah.
sitting still. Like, you're still doing a lot of the same motions. And they're like, oh no, but I'm cleaning. It's like, no, that can actually be a dual purpose thing.
Yeah. I think it's also like, I always say, like, everybody has the same amount of time in the day. Time is irrelevant, it's what you use it for. Like, whenever I hear someone go, oh, I don't have time for that, or stuff like that, it's like, you do have time because everybody's been given the same amount of time.
Yeah.
It's just you're using it for other priorities. And if you are choosing to do like deep clean versus going to the gym, that's fine. If you're choosing to do other things versus doing other things, like, there is there isn't like this massive list of like something outranks another thing. Like, it's not going to be like, oh, well, I was going to deep clean my house, but I had a baby today.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
What? So we give you permission to buy that convenience item if you can afford it, or
If it's actually useful.
if it's actually useful, like for example, a veggie tray. We give you permission to like just like you can leave the laundry. You're not gonna die. It's fine.
A monster's not going to go in and pee all over your laundry, and the smell will get out.
Exactly. Or give yourself permission just to like rest, whether it's 5 minutes, 15 minutes, or even if you just decide to like just herkle durkle one day away.
Which is okay.
Yeah.
But the next day you can't say, "Oh, I haven't had a day off in 4 months," because it's gonna haunt me.
You can make those homemade cupcakes, but if you don't have enough time, or if you underestimated the amount of time that you have, the cake mix is okay. Or buying
The
the
pre-made
cupcakes.
cake is fine,
The pre-made cake is fine.
and it didn't need to be a $300 one. It could be the $6 ones.
Exactly. You don't have to support local. You could just buy the cheap one from the grocery store if you want to.
Also, to anybody who says support local, we're trying. Okay.
We're trying, but sometimes it's deceptive local or it's overpriced local.
And like there's a fine line. Like everybody has their limits. Understand your boundaries.
Yes.
And when in doubt, always stay as warped and twisted as ever. Peace.
Hi, my name's Sarah. I'm one of the hosts of Burnt Out Perfectionist, a weekly podcast that comes out on Mondays with my little sister Eve. You can find us on all podcast platforms, and you can find us on all social media at Burnt Out Perfectionist or Burnt Out Perfectionist Pod. We have a blog that comes out every Wednesday as well on our website, which is burntoutperfectionist.com.